cross over to my old mucker, Melissa Hemsley. And I love spending time with her. She's one of the most positive people to spend time with. I don't get to see enough of her, but we're going to virtually link and see her cook an amazing dish. And she's also championing a wonderful producer called Hod Madods, but we'll get her to talk a little bit more about that. Are you there, Melissa? Hey!
For you!
Woo! There you are. How's your day been?
It's been really good. I'm just trying to adjust myself so you can see me. How's that? Is that better? Oh no, you've got lots. I'm going to put it back a little bit more. There
you go. I can. The top of my frame is aligned nicely with your perfect fringe.
Oh, don't be silly. It is an imperfect fringe.
Come on, is that a home haircut?
You know what, I'm 34 and my mum still pretty much cuts my hair, and because I haven't been able to see her, I've been missing out on her haircut, so it's a bit sweaty. I like that we're doing this now. It's too hot for me outside.
I know, but it didn't stop you having a little Barbie yesterday.
I'll always make an exception for a little bit of food. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're talking about mum and hair. Does your mum do this?
Yes.
What is that all about?
My mum will give me, she'll probably be compiling a list of things I've done wrong now. I can imagine her right now saying to me, Melissa, your board is too full. It looks worrying. So I'm just looking at what you can see and I'm thinking of all the danger zones. She's quite right. You've got to be safe in the kitchen.
You've got to be safe, but does your mum have OCD? What's mum's name?
Evangelina, or she says Evangelina. Absolutely, yeah. She's from the Philippines. So I would say my, almost gave her something to talk about with the knife there. She Filipino food, for anyone that doesn't know a huge amount about Filipino food. I think it's a bit underrepresented and under-celebrated in the UK. Yeah. 2021 will be the year of Filipino food. It's very, I would say, it's such a gorgeous, curious mix. There's the Spanish influence, there's the Chinese influence. The Spanish influence brought bay leaves and tomatoes and black peppercorns, and then there's lots of sour tamarind and calamansi and so on. Hang on, I need to sneeze. We're just in my kitchen, so it's okay. Bit hay fevery. Anyone else today?
A little bit, yeah. I don't suffer too badly, but you know, I think it's a bit odd, isn't it? Because you know our old friend Rosie Burkett.
Lovely Rosie, yeah.
Well, we had a little demo with Rosie and she said, hang on a second, I'm going to sneeze. And it never came. And I said, well, you have to stare at the sun in order to get a sneeze. And she says, no, I can't do it. Anyway, she battled through. And then we had Chetna McCann, who followed. And Chetna was choking on her own spices and she was like coughing all the way through, and she was going, oh my God, you know, in this day and age of coronavirus, coughing, it's like doing a Nazi salute. It's terrible. We couldn't actually believe it, bless her.
Do you know what happens is you could be having a lovely old time in the kitchen with no one looking, and then all of a sudden you're live with the virtual food festival and everything's itchy, you want to sneeze, you want to think, you know, like, oh, the doorbell's going to go, isn't it fantastic?
It's great. And you know, you just kind of walk out and just like sneeze and you come back in.
Also, slightly cleaned, expecting our viewpoint was about here, so I'm just like, you know.
Yeah, what's sneezing range. So you've got some, oh, hello, ding dong, what's that?
You know, I'm so unclassy. I've got the wrong glass, but I've got a lovely bottle of Bintu wine here.
Hello. Are you making we're going to bring Mike from Bintu. He's going to pair with your dish. Well, did you send some as well?
To pair with, left.
Excellent.
It goes down easily, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. What's your dish? What are you going to pair it with?
Okay, well, I mean, I know that you've had people that have come on and done really, why am I talking myself out of this? No, you've had the greats of the food scene and you've had some very fancy and exciting foods. I thought I'd keep things because I knew it was going to be a Scorchio day. Yep. And, you know, it's the first session of your evening sessions, Steve, so I don't want to do anything too crazy that could possibly go wrong. We've done that before together where things go wrong. So I've just come up with something that I'm eating all the time at the moment. And I'm sort of calling them salad bowls.
Yeah.
And I'm joking.
I know, you get very emotional when we work together.
Salad makes me very emotional. And what I like to call a salad bowl is basically a bowl, and the base layer is something delicious and creamy and rich and based on lentils, split peas, chickpeas, any bean that needs using up in the cupboards. So it's going to be a glorious base, flavored maybe simply with just lemon juice, salt and pepper and garlic, perhaps with loads of herbs blended in, or maybe something a little bit more interesting and spicy, like a harissa or a curry powder. And then on top, to contrast against the creamy, rich, silky smooth base, is lovely, crunchy summer veg. So that's what I'm doing.
Wow, sounds delicious. Lovely layers of flavour. And I suppose this is really versatile as well. Is this a version from Eat Green?
It is, Steve. It is absolutely. Yeah. Have you got a picture there?
Well, I've got a picture of the breakfast bowl one.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, yeah. Exactly. So I've just vibed off that, and that's incredibly versatile. Today today I'm keeping it veggie. I'm not vegetarian.
Yeah.
But you can put some lovely skewers on, whether they be lamb, chicken, fish, seafood. It just is so lovely. It's sort of like, every time I think what it's like, I think for some reason it makes me think of there's lots of Greek, like your classic Greek salad. There's lots of those elements in it. I mean, I can just sort of show you the sort of vibe. It's sort
nice. Love it.
There it is with eggs, because I'm a fan of having boiled eggs any old time of the day. And it's got mint and so on, but I've just been in my very modest little veg patch, and I pulled out some rocket and some chives and some fennel fronds. And sometimes I pickle my veg a little bit and sometimes not, but I can just sort of mess around as we chat if you want.
Do it. Brilliant. Because we love a chat. And the last time we did a demo together, I think I just got in the way, and it was roasting. Do you remember how hot it was?
Poor Steve. And the last time I saw you down at the cottage was sort of almost the day before lockdown. It's the last time I left home, really. Oh, you've got it. Fab.
Yeah, I'm sitting on it to get the right height for the camera on the laptop.
Got whatever works.
You know what? Actually, I remember the last time we did meet at River Cottage, and you were doing an event there, and you said, I think lockdown is going to happen. Yeah. You picked it. You called it, didn't you?
I mean, I should be part of the government. Yeah.
Well, you should be. And if you don't mind me saying so, I also remember something else you told me about lockdown as well, because I think you said that did you say that your toilet wasn't working properly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm having to scan my brain back to the time before this was all happened. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, just one of those things that luckily, let's just say the issue resolved itself.
Correct. Brilliant. Well, I'm glad that happened. And you're always, yeah. And we spoke about Mom, and Mom features quite heavily in Eat Green, doesn't she?
Oh my gosh.
Inspiration.
Yes. Can I actually just show you a picture of her? Because someone just
I'd love to do that, yeah.
Today, can I shout out this? And I feel like this is very virtual food festival. Correct me if I'm wrong. This magazine is called OH, and it's called Mindful Being and Mindful Doing. Just take a little look. It's an independent small publisher.
Yeah.
It comes out every couple of months. And my mother and I were asked just now, it's just come out, to feature in a regular piece called The Frugal Kitchen. And I talk in it about how my mother taught me and inspired. You know, we grew up in a house where even on the hottest day of the year, there was a pot of stock going. And that is my mum there, just so you've got a visual.
Wow, brilliant picture.
Yep. And in it, we make this gorgeous sour Filipino chicken soup.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you can see I love my eggs. There's another egg.
Yeah.
And we've used celery leaves in it. We've used lemon instead of calamansi, which would be the limey type lemon, orangey type fruit they use. And you know, my mum, she's been living here for about 40 years. She still says every time she goes, obviously not now, down to Kingston Market, you can't get the greens you can get in Manila down in Kingston. Oh. So that's the only thing I think she misses, is like really amazing local leafy lovely dark greens.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I hope she's watching tonight.
I hope so. I do send her everything, and I told you she likes feedback.
Yeah, great. And what ingredients are we going to start off with there?
Okay, so I've done a little bit. I know you've got a jam-packed schedule and everyone's got lots of things they want to do tonight. So I've gone ahead with cooking up one of my favorite producers out there. They are called, I'm sure you're familiar with them, Hod Midods.
Hod Midods.
And what I love is they sort of, I think their sort of byline is Britain's pulse pioneers, which I think is very catchy.
I like
These
it.
are organic split favas from Yorkshire. Ideal for dal, hummus, falafel soups, and more. I would agree, absolutely anything. And I came across them because my sister and I, who you know, Jasmine, 5 years ago, we went to visit a father and son, Peter and Andrew Fair, and they grow quinoa and chia in Essex. And they told us that in order to, we said, how can we send people to your quinoa to buy it? And they said, buy it via Hod Midods, who I know you've known for a long time, who are this fantastic collective of farmers who've all pulled together and teamed together to make the offering of versatile pulses and beans and all the good stuff more widely celebrated. Because I find a lot of people sort of just stick to a chickpea.
Yeah. And
chickpeas are great, aren't they?
Well, chickpeas are amazing, but it's really nice once in a while to be able to buy locally, buy British, and get a sort of indigenous native variation on something that you always use.
Absolutely. And I think as well, it keeps things more interesting having versatility when it comes to your tinned area of your cupboard, or if you can, I think a lot more people over the last 3 months, not saying that we've had a lot of time on our hands, because of course a lot of people have been incredibly busy, and stress and so on, and not had much time to cook, but I have felt, you know, when you can feel the murmurs on social media, I have felt that a lot of people have been finding comfort in going back to basics, whether that's making sourdough, which I don't do, or cooking their pulses from scratch, which I do, or whatever it is. There's pleasure in the process, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of running around. I mean, we're homeschooling with the girls, which takes all day, but you know, you do take the opportunity to create from scratch, and I think that's the enjoyment of food, and you know, buying locally and supporting suppliers. That's what this is all about.
Well, and have I even yet said congrats to everyone at the festival, because you're just absolute legends. I can't believe it. I can't believe what you've achieved. And I think it's so exciting, and my heart goes out to all the people whose festivals have been cancelled this year. And I think you're going to inspire so many people now that this is one way forward, and it's fun. I mean, I'm having fun. Don't know anyone else.
Well, it is fun, and thanks for saying that. I mean, you know, we're a small team, and Ross and Gemma and Jack and Ellie, who you know, who's kind of, you know, here with me, but invisibly behind the scenes, just making it all happen. We're having a chat, but you know, we're ambitious, and I think it's nice to be able to do something.
I'm just making I think hopefully an even nicer angle there.
Let's have a look at you.
Yes, better, because I was
that's the one. Yeah, you were doing the curtsy, the continuous curtsy.
I mean, we even tech rehearsed this yesterday, didn't we? We were like, we've nailed the position.
Yeah. Things change.
So I got ahead. Where's my lovely? So back to these. I'm using these lovely split favas. I'm using them, as they said as well in their advice, dals, soups, salads, and I've been using them in this hummus style dish. And I'm saying hummus like this because I know people get incredibly offended if it's not done properly, but at the same time, I'm saying hummus-ish because it's inspired by their use of the old style use of chickpeas plus tahini. Or if you can't get tahini, you could grind any old nut or seed. It just gives an extra layer of flavour. You can be without. So what I did was, where's all my, here they are. This is what they look like. That's not what they look like. That's cheese.
Cheese. Okay.
That's what they look like there when they're cooked.
Yeah.
So that took me about 25 to 30 minutes. We'll come back to the cheese later, shall we?
Okey-doke.
And then what I did was I just bunged them in my food processor, and much as you would a red lentil dip or a cooked chickpea, and I started blitzing it up with a lot of lemon juice and garlic. I can't get my wild garlic anymore, but I've been putting wild garlic here. So if anyone's still got their hands on some wild garlic, then I thought to myself, I wanted to use, let's bring out this bad boy. This is Stilton from Crockwell Bishop Creamery.
That's a white Stilton.
That is a white Stilton. I probably ruined it by cutting it.
No.
I mean, isn't there a specific way to cut Stilton that no one ever taught me?
Well, it's not so much how you cut a Stilton, but it's how you cut a truckle of cheese, because it matures from the outside in.
Yeah.
And then if you take a slice out of it and then take the nose off it, then you're taking the most mature, tasty bit.
Yeah. No, my nose fell off. I ate that bit. I've eaten it. It crumbled beautifully as I cut it. So I've got a wedge.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, because sometimes I make this bowl with maybe a halloumi. There's fantastic halloumis called Kupros halloumi made by Cypriot. I think their byline is Cypriot grandmas making halloumi in London.
Oh, right, in North London. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's Yorkshire Damas style halloumi.
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah, brilliant.
And they also have, because I love my feta, they have their version of fettle, Fettle. But I have this gorgeous Stilton because it's been British Cheese Weekend, hasn't it? Just two weekends gone.
Yes.
I thought that I love Stilton. I really enjoy Stilton with like a mango chutney or a sort of so I thought about those spices pairing really nicely with it. And I had a really old, you know when someone gives you a packet of their own spice blend and you just transfer it? I actually don't remember where this came from, but it's a gorgeous curry powder blend here. So that's not very helpful, but you know, work with what you've got.
Yeah.
I blitzed it in with my gorgeous bits.
Did you put any oil while you were blitzing?
Any oil? Thanks though, Steve. What I did do was I reserved some of the cooking liquid. Got really sort of starchy and lovely, and I added a bit as I went. And you know, it's a lovely thick.
What a great texture.
It's a good texture, and it looks gorgeous color-wise from the curry powder. I just added a little bit, and then I thought to myself, I've got a column with the Telegraph. You know, don't know how I got on it. I'm only once a month, not trusted every week, but I'm going to be doing something with nectarines. So I've got some nectarines yesterday to do a recipe test, and I thought how lovely the nectarines in the salad, because I mean I feel like I've been quite late to the party in enjoying fruit in salads. Yeah. You know, watermelon and mint and feta and olive lovely. Yeah. Apples and slaws, pears and slaws. What about you? What's your I'm quite funny with fruit because tomatoes are fruit, which I like, obviously, and so you know, great in a salad. I like a bit of pomegranate in a salad, but they're a bit of a faff to make, aren't they? Oh, well, what pomegranates? Yeah, when you get the whole pomegranate, it's a bit of a faff to get all those pit things out. Steve, I wish I had one now, because there's something called spanking the pomegranate, which gets all the seeds out. And actually, it's a good one for the girls to compete at. I'll record myself or my boyfriend doing it. Brilliant. What about figs? Do you like figs in salads? Oh, do you know what? I love a fig. And I think a couple of years ago, as a family, we like to go and do a little bit of wild camping. And my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, Wendy and Wayne, they've got a lovely field at the back of their house. And we send the girls down the bottom of the field. We pitch up in our teepee. And they've got a fig tree, and they were the best ripe figs we've ever had. And I had some of my own kind of home-cured prosciutto style ham wrapped around figs. As you do, you just carrying it along on your trip. Yeah, you know, always got a bit of prosciutto on the go. But yeah, figs are amazing. But you wouldn't put it in a salad. So okay, I feel like I'm preaching to the wrong choir or whatever the phrase is. I can't remember it. Barking up the wrong tree with my whole pushing fruit in salads. Okay, so
I like it.
You.
Do you know what I don't like about fruit?
Yeah.
I don't like warm fruit in a dish.
Right.
Like a sort of a tagine.
Oh really?
Yeah, I struggle with that a bit.
Don't like right. I'm just making a mental note that when I come around your house, or we pop up together on the other side of this, or you come this way, if all the lambs come to mind, don't do a tagine with apricots and fruit.
Well, honestly, you know what? We're like a travelling circus. I wouldn't wish that on you.
I'm so surprised. It's funny, isn't it? It's so interesting what people like and don't like. I don't think there's anything I don't like, but I do get a bit funny about beetroot every now and then. I don't know if anyone else like, do you?
A bit soily. It has a kind of earthiness to it.
Sometimes I think if there's just a hint of dirt, I mean, I'm not fussed. You know, get my veg from my veg box, I scrub it. I'm not fussed about dirt. You know, dirt's good for us. But you're right. When there's that too overly soiliness to it, it put me off a little bit. That's the only thing. But then I'll eat then I'll go to someone's house, or I'll go to a cafe and I'll eat a beetroot salad or a beetroot soup, and I'll be like, oh, how delicious.
Yeah, I know. Really nice. In fact, my mate Ross Geach, who's the kind of brainchild behind the Virtual Food Festival along with Jack, he cooks a really lovely, he grows amazing beetroot on the farm, but he cooks them dirty in the ashes of the barbecue, and they get really nice and charred on the outside and delicious. And another interesting factoid about barbecue and beetroots is that there's something, I don't know what it is, I'll look and Google in a minute, but there's something in beetroot and also brown trout that makes them taste that earthy flavour.
Brown trout, you say?
I say brown trout.
It said brown trout. How interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it, really. Just letting you know, I'm funny about beetroot. You're funny about fruit. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do it now. I might have put a nectarine in there, but I'm not going to. Hey, listen. Did you know? You know, lovely Dan Parker of Veg Power.
Yeah.
He wrote to me last week and said that because of school closures, restaurant, I don't explain closures. The particular veg that's getting highly you know, we know sadly, tragically, there's always a lot of food waste.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when we consider that a lot of people, even, you know, down the road from any of us watching here, are going hungry or not getting what they need. He said that especially tomatoes, cucumbers, and asparagus are not finding a home. So I also thought, when we talked about what to make today, something really simple, something that you could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and something that uses cucumber and tomatoes. I mean, I'm being very lazy here. I'm really not doing much. I've got a little orange tomato. I'll keep on chopping as I'm just letting you know what's going in, really.
Yeah.
I'm just building a bowl that I'm looking forward to eating this evening. I'll tell you what I've put done over here. I've got some apple cider vinegar in here, not much, some onion rings and some carrot ribbons. If you haven't ribboned a carrot before, you just take your carrot and your peeler. Me, my dog and my boyfriend, we're all looking for the veg peeler. About 10 minutes before we went live, I was like, I can't do it without the veg peeler. The veg peeler. And all you do is, did you see that? I can't really do it next to you, but
I can see it's just very, very micro thin slithers.
Yeah, and if you've got a mandolin, if you're like, I do that all the time. Of us who don't have a mandolin or are scared of them, use your veg peeler. And it's something I always forget to do, and then I remember, and it's a breeze. So I've done that a little bit, and I've just thrown it in with a little bit of, I put a little bit of raw honey and vinegar. I had Willie's apple cider vinegar from, I think it's from Hub, and my carrots and my onions, and my onions are going to mellow a little bit in there. That's not helpful. I'm not very good at my angles, am I?
No, you are. Hang on. You're the queen of angles. All of those big plates. And I'm thinking, how are you doing that without it slipping off?
I tell you what, I'm not very good at a lot of things, but I'm quite good at balancing fruit on my head and holding the plate, touch wood, without it dropping. So far, they're my only talents. Anyway, back to this. So the reason I put the red onion in is because the vinegar is going to sort of mellow the flavour. It's going to get that quick pickle feel. I've put a bit of raw honey in for a bit of sweetness, and I put some salt in. Hello.
Oh, hello, ding
My
dong.
friend, thank you for letting me know about them.
They're amazing.
About them.
Yeah, lovely new company up in Scotland making fantastic sea salt. Yeah, in a brilliant, brilliant way.
I mean, I haven't done a taste test, I'll be honest. I haven't sat and gone, how does that one taste that one? But in terms of like the shape of the granule, the flakes, I'm just into it. It's really, really lovely. 100% Scottish sea salt, West Coast by Wincey and Thorns. Oh, can't wait to get to Cornwall. Can't wait to get to the Isles of Scilly, and can't wait to get to Scotland. That's where I'll be heading. What about you? Where are you going to be off to first?
Well, we are in Dorset, and
can't wait to get to Dorset.
Yeah, that's okay. After we've been and stayed with you for 2 weeks, the whole family, the 2 dogs and the cat.
That's what.
Yeah. Definitely a trip to Cornwall. Love a bit of Cornwall, and it's really quite funny, isn't it? Because we are thinking just staying, in the UK, holidays. If we ever get another holiday, I'm not necessarily thinking about going abroad right now. You?
Oh, I'm very happy. I mean, I'm sort of making a Greek salad here right now. I'm just borrowing from every country I've ever visited. I'm borrowing stuff, and I cannot wait. I feel like I haven't. We talked about this before. One of the reasons, the last time but one I saw you at the August bank holiday River Cottage.
Yeah.
I was on my way to Porthscatho to eat at Hidden Hut with my lovely friend Simon Stallard, incredible chef.
Yeah.
And then I was going on my way to the Isles of Scilly for the Scilly Food Festival, which is the first 2 weeks of September. But 2 of the best weeks of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids yet, but I've got a dog, and it's dog friendly. You can be barefoot everywhere. You don't need to dress up. It's glorious. You can eat. I feel like social media has made it very easy to be able to work out and plot where you want to travel around Cornwall based on, for me, coming from East London via Dorset, via you to Cornwall is lovely. It just makes the trip even better.
Yeah, it is. It's just a short journey for us, but it's quite, you have to embark on quite a trip yourself from East London.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's worth it. Also, another thing to do with the peeler. Remember when we chatted a couple of weeks ago, I told you about my friend Melek, a beautiful, wonderful Kurdish North London lady who I met when I was doing a Cook for Syria fundraising supper. Anyway, she was right, and I was telling you how much you love her food. Yes. And one day I was making a slaw. I feel like my favourite salad in the world is a slaw, but I was chopping this, and she was like, just do it with the peeler. So I'm so sorry, but I'm going to get the peeler out again. Have you ever done slaw with the peeler?
Never.
No. So let's just watch me do it now. Here she goes. Nice.
Good peeling. Where was it? If it's such an important part of your kitchen repertoire, how did you flipping well lose it?
Someone had done mojito night over there with a cucumber the other day, So I'm making such a mess, but it's lovely because I know that a lot of people don't like raw cabbage in great quantities. I feel like cabbage is one of my absolute favourite veg, so I'm happy. But I'm going to take this bowl right over to you when we finish. But I just want to show you, you can imagine how just glorious and subtle now the pieces are. So you still get the great crunch. How long have I got, Steve, before, who's on after me?
The amazing Joe, Joe Wood's after you.
Oh, lovely Joe Wood. How long have we got?
I would say, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm basically done. I'm just faffing. I'm going to fry some capers while we continue chatting.
Oh, nice. Are they capers, or are they those kind of pickled wild garlic capers?
That I've got a Hey Google thing, and it, for some reason, what did it say it thought I said? It just tried to tell me that it can't help me with the capers. That reminds me, Steve, let's not name drop, but our mutual friend is Gary Barlow, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Gary Barlow came around here to cook with me, and I think we said, let's put some music on. And I said, to my Google, like, you know, you might have an Alexa and I've got the Google, and I said, hey, if I say it now, it might start doing it. I said, hey, because they're always listening.
Yeah.
Play Gary Barlow, and it went silent or said something like, I don't know how to help you. Famous musicians of our time. And then I went and tried to do a northern accent. So I went, play Gary Barlow, and it started playing. And it really made us laugh because it didn't get me when I was trying to do my accent, but when I tried to have a go really badly at a Manchester accent.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's a real foodie. He's an absolute.
He loves getting stuck in, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know, after he wrote a million love songs after me, you know, we've been really close.
We all think it's after us. Hang on, this is where I'm at right now. So,
wow, looking good.
So I've got mint from my garden, I've got my peeled cabbage, I've got my cucumber with some wild mint, I've got my tomatoes. It's British Tomato Week as well, said my friends at the Isle of White Tomatoes.
Wow.
And I've got some lovely olives. Say again?
It's hard to keep up with all these weeks.
Oh no, I've locked my technical issues here. I've just locked.
It's all right. Induction, keep your finger on it, it'll work. While you're doing that, can I just say, you're so natural in front of the camera and intuitive, a brilliant presenter. Is that something that you've just grown into yourself, or is it something that you've practiced?
Oh no, well, Steve, that's just really lovely. I don't really agree with you. Oh no, do you know what it is? Because I've got to move everything. I just want to do this because I want to fry my capers and ghee from the Happy Ghee Company in Devon. Do you know them?
I don't know them.
Hang on one sec. I think I've got to take everything off.
That's okay.
You said something really nice. Well, actually, Steve,
yeah, your food presentation is just amazing.
As my boyfriend's crawling on the floor. It's a bit weird, your head being down here.
Hi. It's just, you know, it's just normal, isn't it? You see, these things happen when you and I get together.
I don't know why. Hang on a minute. You said something really nice, but Steve, you know that. Oh,
hi, bye.
God love him, Steve. You know that I really struggle with my anxiety, and
I know.
We talked about that, didn't we, the other day? Because I was really suffering when we last chatted on the phone, and you know, not just to suck up to you, but I when you told me about this, I thought, well, you know, I'll probably be quite nervous. You know, something to worry about to add to my worry list. But I knew that we would have a lovely time, and I just think beyond anything else, I like and I feel lucky to have, you know, people that follow me on Instagram and so on, and I want to use that to shout out about all my lovely friends that are farmers that don't have time and don't want to be on Instagram. So I can use it. So I just say to myself, you know, just get on with it. And I'm constantly working on my mental health, as we all should be, because you know it's the most important thing. But I do find these things nerve-wracking.
It never comes across.
Let me get my ghee.
Go for it. Are you going to make a costume change?
Yeah, I'm gonna taste. It's got a Taste of the West gold.
Oh, nice.
From Totnes.
Yeah, just up the road from us.
Yeah, shout out to Totnes.
The thing is that, you know, you never come across as anything other than very natural and happy and chirpy. But I suppose that's one of the things, isn't it? But, you know, I've been following your feel good sessions on a Monday.
Oh yeah, thank you.
That's all right, on Insta. And, you know, you're always coming across as, you know, feel good food, always championing like fair trade, trying to be the person who's kind of holding a light up to other people. And, you know, you always seem positive.
Well, I try to be positive, but also at the same time, I think that there is now, I feel less anxious talking about my anxiety.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Or
it does.
/ I'm growing up, you know, I'm growing up and I'm at the point where I want to just be myself, because it's tiring to not be yourself. So maybe before, when I've gone, oh gosh, I'm so nervous, but I'll put on a front for this. Now I feel that, like, even me just telling you that, you know, doesn't feel like I'm really like bearing my soul. It just feels quite natural, because the more you talk about it, you really realize that absolutely lots of us struggle, and especially at the moment, and you don't have to. Maybe I would have always told myself someone else is worse off than you, just get on with it. But now that doesn't happen, that doesn't work long term. But bringing food back into it, I find cooking a very relaxing way for me to, you know, using my hands is a way, you know, when you're using your hands, you can't, for me, it feels like instantly something is released and something positive is gained.
Yeah.
So, and that is one of the reasons why I'm going to be, you know, I'm so looking forward to getting out into the fresh air and visiting as many farmers as possible. And there's no cure for these things, but you know, feel good food and looking after ourselves through food, and not just that, like, it almost doesn't matter what you're eating as long as you sit down to enjoy it, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when someone once said to me, like, oh, I don't like kale, or like all these healthy green smoothies, and, you know, or I'm really healthy because I eat like this. Yeah. I'm not healthy because I like this. And I thought, well, there's absolutely no barometer that's saying it like that. Actually, it doesn't matter what you eat. Like, when I eat fish and chips, I'm not just eating the fish and chips. I am loving the whole experience of up my fish and chips and the smells, and I want to eat them outside. And you know, in the rustle of the paper, it's all of those things. And same whether you're having your healthy salad or your glorious cake. Got McGee going.
Okay, well, listen, just while you're doing that, I want to say thanks for saying that, because by saying that and being so open and normal about it, you're probably helping a lot of people.
I hope so, because, you know what, when I see other people talking about it, it really, really helps me out. And I think, you know, a lot of people are financially and have financially in a tragic way, and people have lost people, so we have to talk about it. And I love getting newsletters. Well, I don't love getting bad news from newsletters, but all the restaurants I love, I sign up to their newsletters, and I'm enjoying hearing from them when they write and say, we're struggling, or could you, if there's any way people have said they want to, how can we support you? If you want to buy a gift voucher for a future meal, you know, like, it's so important to put your heart on your sleeve and be honest about asking for support. No one's thinking you're asking for free money, but just, yeah, we love you. Whether you're a restaurant or a food supplier, tell us how we can help you. Tell us if you're struggling, like, how can we connect? Someone I know said that they had produce that was going to run out and they couldn't bear for it to go to waste, obviously. And it took me 3 seconds to just pair them up with someone else I knew. And I was so pleased. And I feel that that's, you know, any one of us in the food community, as you well know, it's our job to help each other.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the subject of making connections, do you think should we bring Mike in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's make a connection.
Come on, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Yes, me and Mike.
It's like, it's like positive therapy. Mike's in the wings. You've got your ghee on the go. Just remind me, what's going on in the ghee? What are you going to cook?
I've just put ghee, and I've just put some bog standard cupboard capers.
Yeah, the capers, that's right.
I might have put anchovies and olives too. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing? All right?
I'm all right. Isn't Melissa lovely?
She's better than that. She's super lovely. And so are you.
I can't tell you how relieved I am to find out that Melissa drinks, because what with the kind of healthy living angle, I dispatched off a couple of wines to her for this demo, and I suddenly thought, crikey, what if she doesn't drink? And I got a reassuring word back that the rosé was already being cracked into at lunchtime. So I'm happy.
That's very good of you. And did anybody inquire about me at all? Or?
I don't think there was any doubt, Steve, was there really?
It's just for you, Steve, and all the lovely lambs.
Thank you, darling. So we've got an amazing dish going on here, Mike. What did you just send to Melissa and not me to pair?
Mate, you're making me feel bad now, but not that bad. So I sent Melissa 2 wines, and she's opened the rosé, Vol de Nuit, which is from Provence, and
Is that
it's
the Blue
from.
Wolf?
Pardon me.
Is that the Blue Wolf?
It is the Blue Wolf, yeah, and it's so cool. It's a really small producer. It's a really nice story of a husband and wife who've gone down, bought a vineyard. It's a sort of lifestyle thing they're doing. So Provence is packed with lots of big brand producers. Nothing wrong with that, but it's nice to be able to champion the little guy. And so they're a small producer. They're organic, and they're in the process of converting to biodynamic. So kind of organic plus. So real close attention to how they treat the vines, and it's called the Blue Wolf because wolves still run in the hills behind their vineyard, and the blue comes just because of the startling blue color of the sky, and the moon features on the branding there because it's so hot where they are. They harvest the fruit at night, and
which is the biodynamic way. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a bit of that as well. So biodynamics, it's a torturous subject to go into here, but yeah, there's a lot to do with kind of phases of the moon, and there are a lot of practices that sometimes sound a little bit spiritual in their nature. But what the defining thing that I think I've noticed with all biodynamic producers is just they take care of their vines, so well, and they lavish more care on the vines than I probably do on my kids, and I think that really shows through in the wines. They're just really, they've got a kind of certain purity about them. So as someone, I confess, I'm not a big Provence rosé fan. I often find it a little bit wishy-washy, particularly when it's kind of pale like this. But these guys have pulled off the trick of making a really, really good wine, retaining that colour, and there's a nice story to it, a nice human story to it, and because it's organic and biodynamic, it's kind of almost health food, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, yes. And you should write that on the label anytime you can. Like being like rosé on prescription.
Yeah, I think trading standards might be onto me. And if you tolerate me plugging another wine, so there's also this one from Spain, which is made by a producer called Loxarel. And Loxarel is an anagram of Jarolo, which is a Spanish grape variety, which is little known, but most of us have drunk it. It's the grape variety that's typically used to make cava, but it also makes fantastic still wine. And this wine here is a blend of Garnacha Blanca, so white Grenache, and Jarolo. And it was destined to go to restaurant Morro by the Glass, that kind of great Spanish institution in London.
Sam and
Sam. Well, they're awesome, aren't they? And the reason I've chosen these 2 wines is not only because there's a good production story behind them, but they're also imported by a really small and niche importer who works really hard to find great wines with a great story. And like a lot of importers, they've been hit hard by the closure of on-trade. So when they said this wine didn't have a home because Morrow obviously can't take it, we piped out and said, well, we'll take it. And as soon as we're able to open our outdoor terrace outside Bin 2, hopefully sometime in early to mid-July, that'll be on by the Glass with us instead.
Right.
So it's a cracking job. Either of those would be fabulous with Melissa's dish. So when Melissa's polished off that rosé, because you've not got much left, crack into the Jarolo, and the goat there is there because, again, that really nice practices in the vineyard, biodynamic again. They use goats to nibble back the vine leaves, and goats are quite symbolic in biodynamic agriculture as well. The horn, the horn plays a part in biodynamic agriculture that we probably don't want to talk about at the moment. But 2 great wines, and I hope you like them.
Brilliant. Okay.
It's got this lovely, you might say I've got it totally off my, but a sort of apricotiness, which is lovely in this dish, because I talked earlier, didn't I, about loving the fruit. I love fruit with things. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. That's brilliant. Great choices.
And
no, you're welcome. And a big shout out to Ben from Carte Blanche Wines for going to the effort to find really special wines like this, because not everyone goes to the bother of finding really, really good examples of great wines like this. So kudos to them, and I hope we can do a bit to support them.
Thank you, Mike.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Very thoughtful pairings. And actually, like we were just saying a second ago about whatever you're eating, you know, like sit down, enjoy it, take the time. You know, often we spend more time cooking than we do eating it.
No.
I think pairing, putting the thought together is also enjoying the process, isn't it? Thinking about the matching of, it's definitely something I don't do enough of, and I would like to enjoy more, because I don't drink a huge amount, but I definitely would like to understand wine more, and no better way than just really trying it out and seeing what works. I mean, I don't know the words, but I know how I like it to work.
I think you're bang on. And if you, I mean, just a shout out for Fiona Beckett, who obviously, yeah, you'll know she writes for The Guardian, but her website, matchingfoodandwine.com, is the go-to place. So it's got a great search function. You can just type in the dish that you're planning to cook, and she'll pop up a list of recommendations, and she's an absolute legend, and I use that a lot to check myself.
It's a great recommendation. Thank you, Mike. That's brilliant.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Okay, guys, see you. And Melissa, I think we need to just crack on a little bit, but my advice about getting to know more about wine is you just need to try more wine.
Try more wine. And Steve,
yes,
finishing touches. So let me I might just come over to you.
Come on then. Careful you don't trip over your boyfriend.
Oh, he's here. Here you go, Henry. Oh, are you running out of the way? Oh gosh, he's being all shy. Can you see what's going on?
Oh,
so
my life.
put the crispy chickpeas on there. I've put a couple of the split peas so you could see what they look like cooked. I've got my pickled red onion with a bit of raw honey. I've got some mint leaves. I've got my Stilton on top. I've got pickled carrots there. I've got olives, and I've got some dried mint and oregano. Can you see it?
It's absolutely wonderful. Will you take a picture of it for us?
I'm gonna.
Great. And then we'll get that on our virtualfoodfestival.org website. Oh, Melissa, what a lovely chat and an amazing dish.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Kim and everyone that took part. Enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to seeing Joe next.
Yeah. Take care. Bye, Henry. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.